Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Rob Keller. I'm a Department of Defense volunteer for the employer support in the Guard and Reserve. And in the military, we call this a stand-up meeting because when you sit down, it takes a lot longer, right, General? So we stand up. That's why we're short then, because we get tired of standing. So, but once again, Bishop, thank you for being here again. And we have a unique award with the diocese. But I'm going to go into a little bit about the award first of all, and to talk a little bit about the history of what this award stands for. It's called Above and Beyond. And it's presented by the North Dakota State Committee of the ESGR, and it's basically to recognize employers at the local level who have gone above and beyond. And of the requirements for USER. USER is the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. It's a long word for Department of Labor law that employers have to exercise when a service member in the Guard or Reserve deploys, goes off to training, etc. To get their jobs back, the pay scale, and all of that. But there are two requirements that are required to be considered for the above and beyond. And the two are to have received a Patriot Award. And we've had two with Monsignor Guion and Waltz, who we hope is here, right? Or he's going to make it down here. So if he happens to come in, someone usher him up front here. So we'll actually put him in the front right here. So and Father Waltz, and then also signed a statement of support, which last time we were here, you signed the statement of support. So that goes before the ESGR Awards Committee and met the criteria. But we're going above and beyond that, and so. In this case, they wanted to, ESGR Awards Committee wanted to recognize not only the benefits that were given to Monsignor Guion and Father Waltz have received, but to recognize the diocese for their support of having North Dakota Guard Reserve chaplains for many years. And we're going to go through some of that history as well too. So that's why we're here today, to give that particular award and the accolades to the diocese as well. So, well, Bishop, we want to welcome you again here, and I want to make some other introductions. We're going to have Monsignor Donahue. We had heard he's going to be here. Jeanette, he said he was going to be here? Okay, she's shaking her head yes. But if he comes in as well, just have him up here. Monsignor Chad Guion, who was a North Dakota Army National Guard chaplain at the rank of major. Father Justin Waltz, who was a North Dakota Air Guard, right? Just one for the Air Guard. As
I haven't signed it yet.
Later today. Okay, but he is a captain, right?
Yeah.
So we have Major
Army Guard.
Until we have the North Dakota Absent Guard, the Absent General, that's Major General Alan Dorman. Brigadier General Jackie Huber is the Deputy General, the Absent General. I got to get used to that tag again. Chaplain Johnson, who was the Joint Force Headquarters Chaplain, CW3 Fitzner, right here, and he's a specialty branch recruiter. His job is to recruit chaplains as well, and to interview them and get them in the queue. So we have some other visitors here. I'm just have you go around and give me your name right over here and who you are and the position you have. So go ahead.
Brent Naslund. I'm the internal auditor here for the diocese, retired guardsman.
Monsignor Jane Living, I'm the Vicar General for the diocese.
Okay, ma'am.
Nicolette Dashendorf, recruiting and retention for County Command.
And Fitzner works for you?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Leighton Lohman. I work for Bishop Kagan in the Marriage Tribunal here in the diocese, and I'm also the chaplain assistant to Chaplain Johnson.
Chaplain, he's out of uniform.
He's in a uniform.
He was. And then we have Chad here. Why don't you introduce yourself, Chad, behind the camera?
I'm shooting pictures.
He's with the National Guard Public Affairs Office.
Russ Crocious, I'm a volunteer of the ESGR here in Bismarck.
Shirley Alderson, I'm with ESGR. I'm also the National Guard historian.
And she put a lot of this together here.
Monsignor Brian Donahue. I'm pastor in the Diocese of Fargo.
Remember me, Rob Keller?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so a lot of times, yes. And so come on in.
I'm Sergeant Vandell. I'm a chaplain assistant.
Okay. And we got, okay. a photographer from the diocese too, so. So anyway, I'm gonna go through seven things that you probably did not know about the chaplains in the Guard and Reserve. There's 2,900 chaplains. That's kind of within the entire military. And that serve over 1 million National Guard and Reserve members. And so, of which in North Dakota, I talked to the chaplain this morning, we have 10 chaplains in the National Guard right now, and 3 that are in a candidate status. And that means they're
Within about a year and a half, we'll have them as chaplains as well.
okay. And so military service members are familiar with chaplains, what they do. And they do things, that are important to families and to service members. But here's 7 facts I want to explain to you and show you. Chaplains don't fight in combat. Chaplains are non-combatants as defined by the Geneva Convention. Despite non-combatant status, 419 have been killed in the line of duty. 9 chaplains have been awarded the Medal of Honor. They represent 200 plus denominations. They hold rank, but not command. This is a fact I didn't know. They served during the Nuremberg trials as chaplains to the Nazis. And one is right now is being considered for sainthood. And that was Chaplain Emil Coffin, who died in captivity on May 23rd, 1951. So when we take a look at the chaplain history, it has a huge heritage within the military. Now I'm going to direct your attention to the book here. If you want to pass some of these around here, so that you have some. This is something that our historian did, helped to put together. But this is above and beyond war. And just to go through it, the very opening one is, he's called the Foxhole Chaplain. And that is Chaplain Major Tom Tracy, of which the Tracy Chapel is named at Camp Grafton. And it's unusual for chapels to be named. So this is one of the few that I understand in some of my research that has a name to it, right, Shirley? Yes. And so, and this is a great article that was written by one of our staff members within the Guard Public Information Office, and tells about what Chaplain Tracy did. And I'll let you read that as well too, but that's part of the heritage that our chaplains are experiencing today as well. And then we have Reverend William Rushford. He was a chaplain in the North Dakota National Guard for a longer period of time. This is his obituary. And he's on the back of that is a picture of him as well at Tracy Chapel. And then also Reverend Donald Hill. And Reverend Hill moved to Washington, D.C. when he served more than 11 years as a full-time chaplain for the Army National Guard. At the time of his death, he was retired from active military service. And I just want to also explain, the chaplains that we have here. Monsignor Donahue, of which I've known in my earlier days in the recruiting, you retired as a major, okay? And how many years of service did you have?
20 years Guard and 7.5.
Okay, and of which you were at West Point for a while?
5 years.
5 years. I mentioned that was an interesting tour for you as well too. But Monsignor Donahue, Monsignor Guion is sworn and commissioned as first lieutenant in North Dakota by General Cincinnati. That was what year? Put you on the spot here.
2013.
2013. Okay, and you were one among the local clergy that witnessed the commissioning of, you served as chaplain for the North Dakota National Guard's Bismarck, the 112th Aviation, correct? Okay, and you were deployed to Kosovo? Okay, and Father Justin Waltz, who also put in a Patriot Award for Bishop here, was sworn as a chaplain North Dakota National Guard in February of 2021, so just recently. And he went off last time. He wasn't here for the paid work because he was at school, if I recall. So, so those are some things that, as we talk about, we're so used to chaplains being able to do a lot of things during their time when they're in uniform. They conduct worship and administering sacraments, performing religious ceremonies and services, visiting with service members and their families, developing religious education programs, conducting seminars and retreats, accompanying service members into combat, providing combat stress support, advising commanders on religious and moral matters, counseling service members and their families. But all this time that they are serving their job in serving their churches and their parishes, they're also serving the citizens of this country, of North Dakota. And to have that backing of the bishop here for all the chaplains and other religious organizations as well to support what they do on the weekend when they put on the uniform and they're deployed Kosovo, around the world. And that's a testament to what the diocese here and other dioceses have done when they support those members who put on the uniform, go off to school and come back and start serving in the capacity as a chaplain. And it's very, very important. And what we're going to do this morning here, I'm going to have Chaplain Johnson come on up here, maybe step in front of you, sir, here. I would like to have Chaplain Johnson just say a few words, and then we're going to present the award to the bishop here. So,
All right. Yeah, Bishop, thanks for this time today. And again, like I said before, I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate you have so many souls to care for in this Bismarck diocese, and for allowing a couple of your priests to serve beyond their congregations, because I know I talk to Chaplain Guion all the time and all the things he manages, and Father Waltz as well. And I know they have a lot of responsibilities here, and they serve so many within the diocese, and for you to allow them to continue that ministry, to extend that ministry beyond their parishes, it's invaluable to us.
Thank you.
And one couple things that Rob didn't mention, and you know this as well, but as clergy, as priests, as pastors, as chaplains, we're that confidential place for people who are where they can come and share their most their deepest sadness, but also their greatest joys. And we're not the commander, we're not the first sergeant, we're not the person that they can say whatever they wish. And so that's a gift that Chaplain Guion and Chaplain Waltz and others brings. But the other thing is, as you know, we bring hope. And when everything else, this last couple of years with COVID and just the worldwide situation, Chaplain Donahue, Chaplain Guion, other chaplains that I've served with, we're there to provide hope in the midst of things. And you, by doing what you're doing, extends that and allows that. And I really appreciate that. And one note, this guy right here was my mentor as a brand new chaplain. I know he was a mentor to this guy. So we continue to support each other. And again, it's through folks like you, Bishop, that you make that happen. You allow that to happen. And we're so grateful and so appreciative of that. So
Thank you very much.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
and I'd like to have just quick, Chaplain Guion, any words?
Briefly, recently I was in Grand Forks doing work with ADA Rear Det. So some soldiers are in DC, and then some of them are still in Grand Forks. To be able to show up and say, as Chaplain Johnson was saying, if there's anybody who needs to talk, this is the place that's totally confidential. You can talk about whatever you need. For a lot of those soldiers, this is their first contact with any kind of clergy at all. It's the first time they've ever talked with a religious leader of any sort. And so for us to be able to be in those units, to be accessible, and then giving them some direction, hopefully plotting a course for going in the direction of deepening their spiritual lives and recognizing who they really are. That's something we get to do because we're chaplains, and we get to do it because you let us. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And then also Chaplain Donahue, I want to put you on the spot, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bishop, for having me here today. Good to see you. Thank you. Think about with the chaplaincy and the Catholic chaplains, with your permission, and the North Dakota Guard is you have that combination of basically any of your parishioners that are in the Guard. If you have one of your priests or two of your priests available to them at all times, and it's just a great combination. And it also, you have ongoing professional development of some of your priests paid for by the government. And they receive great training, ongoing training that turns around and benefits their ministry in the diocese. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And John?
Finally, yeah. I'll remind myself this is a stand-up meeting. Bishop, on behalf of 4,100 guardsmen and their families, thank you for your support. It means a lot and it makes a big difference. I've been around long enough. I remember hearing the name of Chaplain Hill. I remember the Monsignor, but I also remember when he left us for active duty, we did not have a Catholic chaplain in the Army National Guard for a number of years, and it was your support and your leadership. And I remember I had the meeting, I think Chaplain Johnson and I came to meet you before we brought in Monsignor Guillen. I think General Spry sent me, because he's Catholic, I'm Lutheran, I did not have a conflict of interest. But, your support has really made a difference, and just, I have a lot of appreciation for what you've done for us and what your priests have done for us. Chaplain Guillen has done an outstanding job. And one other thing, again, I'm Lutheran, but when we promoted Chaplain Guillen to captain, I was above the fold in the diocese newsletter. I have never made it into the Lutheran newsletter. Anywhere in the world. So that, that's good for my personal reputation, I guess. But our bishop, again, just, you've been an incredible supporter, incredible leader, and we appreciate it when you've done for us.
Very much.
So, Chaplain, on behalf of the North Dakota National Guard and the citizens of North Dakota, we want to present to the Diocese of Bismarck the Above and Beyond Award.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I guess I'm going to say something. I haven't seen Father Donahue in a few years. He came to visit me when I was the administrator of the Fargo Diocese between Archbishop Aquila and Bishop Folda coming, but we had a wonderful visit. I'm delighted you're back among us full time. I consider this not so much an award due to anything I've done, but to the solid family life patriotism of the people of North Dakota, who I've come to learn so much about and love so much about. And I think I hope they've adopted me as a native son. I've been here over 10 years now. But it's that solid faith that, just common sense, good citizenship and love for country that it didn't take any kind of persuasion on my part to, I just brought it up to Monsignor Guillen and he readily accepted, and the same holds true for Father Waltz. They see this as really an extension of their priestly ministry to the many people who belong to their parishes. And I just see it as part of my own responsibility as a bishop, not just to care for the Catholic people and others here in Western North Dakota, but to extend that care as we are able to those in the armed services and especially the Guard, who in a way do double duty. They have families and jobs, but then answer the call to serve our country and represent our state so well and so often, sadly so often, but it's necessary for our own well-being and certainly the well-being of others. And so I I accept this very graciously and with great thanks on behalf of the entire Diocese of Bismarck and most especially the good people of Western North Dakota. And so again, I thank you all very much and know of our continued prayers for all of you wherever you are assigned and whatever you find yourself doing, not just here, but wherever you are deployed to. So thank you all again very much. I appreciate it.
Mike?
For historical purposes, before we leave, I'd like to get a group photo after all the comments are done. And if we could do that, because we have so many chaplains here, this is history in the making. You see the picture in here of the God Squad, you were there, no, here we go.
I'd like to have Delton Steele, who is our chairman for the North Dakota ESGR committee, and he has a few words. He's actually in Minnesota right now. And so we have also someone from Zoom, but I'll have Delton go ahead. Go ahead, Delton.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Can you hear me okay, everyone?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, first of all, it's an honor and a sincere pleasure for me to be a part of this today. As Rob said, I'm sitting about 280 miles away from the presentation today, but thanks to the blessing of technology, I can be a part of this wonderful presentation today, and so deserving. You know, I really don't know where to begin. There have been so many eloquent words already spoken this morning, but I just want to say on behalf of the entire employer support of the Guard team of North Dakota, over which we have about 40 volunteers, and the 3,000 volunteers nationwide for ESGR. I just thank you from the bottom of our hearts to the Diocese of Bismarck, to Bishop Kagan, for your leadership, creating that culture that provides that environment for your priests to provide the service to the National Guard as chaplains that they do. It is, as General Dorman said, a big and a huge difference maker. So as Rob said earlier in the presentation, these awards don't happen without somebody making an intentional effort to recognize their supervisors. And, you know, we've got two of them here today. I know that Chad Guillen back in a few years ago had submitted a Patriot Award, and most recently Father Waltz, and I don't know if he was able to make it today or not, but most recently submitted the Patriot Award. And as Rob said, we have an awards committee. We review this information to see if there's another level of award that we can make to the organization that supports their service members. And after we reviewed that information and seeing the good work that the Diocese of Bismarck does, we thought it's pretty automatic that you should be awarded the Above and Beyond Award. I have some other guests today, and I know we don't have time to have them speak, but I want to recognize some other individuals, ESGR volunteers with me today. My state vice chair, Dave Johnston, our Dickinson chair, Rich Braun, Paul Bonicelli, a member of our awards team. Obviously, Shirley in the room there, Russ Crocius from Bismarck, who's there with you today. And of course, the person that keeps us all straightened out all the time and keeps us going in the right direction is Jeanette Fetch, our professional volunteer right there at Frame Barracks in Bismarck. And I also have to recognize General Dorman, General Huber, Chaplain Johnson, who I've known for a number of years through my wife and Captain or Colonel Johnson used to be the minister at the Little Lutheran Church in Hertzfield, North Dakota, where my wife is from, and that's where I first met Dave. And but I just want to thank them for the great support and the partnership that we have with the leadership of the North Dakota National Guard. We can't remotely do what we do or have any success without their support, and we sincerely appreciate that. The one thing I will plug here before I turn it back to you, Rob, is that the year 2022 is a big year for ESGR. This is our 50th anniversary. On June 22nd of this year will be our 50th anniversary of volunteer service to the men and women who serve our National Guard and Reserve and their employers. So I have to take an opportunity to plug that, and we hope to have some events later on this year to celebrate that big 50th anniversary. But again, just thank you so much to the Diocese of Bismarck, Bishop Kagan, and what you do to support the men and women of the North Dakota National Guard and the chaplains that serve as part of your parish. So thank you very much. And thanks for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful presentation today.
Thank you, Del. Appreciate it. And I think it would be, if we would end with a prayer, chaplain, would you mind doing that? Our blessing of the chaplains and all of our chaplains in North Dakota. And so I appreciate that.
Gracious God, we thank you for this time together today, this time of celebration, this time of giving thanks. Thank you for Bishop Kagan and his ministry, both here and before arriving here. We thank you that thank you for his facilitation of ministry within not only the diocese, but within the United States and beyond, as our chaplains mobilize overseas as well. Thank you for his leadership. Thank you for his support. Lord, we also give thanks for the chaplains who are here today and those who continue to serve both in this room, but all around the world at this very moment. We ask that you strengthen them, give them your wisdom, give them your support as they care for our military members and their families in harm's way, but also back home as well. Again, we thank you for this time of celebration. Thank you for all who are here. Bless our time of fellowship and bless the rest of our day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.